Gentleman yields. Mr. Nehls recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Chairman. Mr. Williams, good to see you and the others on the panel. I represent Texas 22nd District, Southwest Houston. Very, very busy area, growing suburban area of Houston, and just growing leaps and bounds. And we had great conversation yesterday, Mr. Williams, talking about some of the obstacles, some of the hurdles that we're having to deal with the population growth that we're seeing in the great state of Texas. And I appreciate your time. And one of the things that is really incredibly frustrating for my constituents, and I think for Americans across the entire country, is the politics that get involved with things that could have or have a potential impact on our lives, things that could improve our lives. The example I'd like to share with you is the Federal Highway Administration sent a letter to TxDOT, sent it to you, asking you all to halt construction of Interstate 45's expansion project because of civil rights and environmental justice concerns. This pause, it lasted 2 years. 2 years. There was a letter sent to the DOT up here, and a complaint was filed. It said that this project, an $8 billion project, violated the Civil Rights Act of like 64 or 65. I don't know how this road project was considered racist. It was there to reduce congestion, and if anybody lives around that Houston area, if you ever want to try to drive to Dallas on I-45, or if you live off of 45 and you want to get into Houston, I highly recommend you don't start work at 8 o'clock in the morning and try to get home at 5 o'clock. A 4-hour trip to Dallas could take 6 because it's crazy, that road, and we need this road. I believe, Mr. Boyd, you talked about permitting, the delays of these permits. I think, Ms. Hammond, you talked about inflation. I can't imagine. This project has been in the works for 17 years. 17 years. It kept getting delayed. They were coming out there. The environmental justice lawyers are saying the project is racist, big problems. I can't imagine what the inflation has done now. Maybe it's not going to be $8 billion. Maybe it'll be $9 billion. Maybe it'll be $10 billion because of these continued delays. Mr. Williams, is that I-45 project racist?
I don't believe that highway projects in and of themselves are racist. We work hard to ensure that when we develop projects that they align with federal environmental policies, and we work with the communities that are served by those to mitigate and minimize impacts to those communities.
I agree. Did the project not consider environmental concerns?
We went through a number of years of environmental permitting, working as well with the Federal Highway Administration. When we reached our record of decision 2 years ago, it was immediately after that that the project was paused. We did not agree with the pause. We feel like that time duration that was involved was entirely too long, and the project was severely impacted by rising inflation costs. We are pleased that we have reached a voluntary resolution agreement with the Federal Highway Administration that allows the project as it was originally approved environmentally to once again proceed. But the 2-year delay certainly has had a significant impact on that.
That's great. Common sense prevails, I guess, here. U.S. DOT and state DOTs are supposed to be partners. Come together in support of the nation's transportation system. How is that working out for us?
Well, I would say that on balance, we have a good partnership with our Federal Highway Administration. Our division office in Texas is one that we work with very carefully, and we work with and we appreciate the involvement of different levels of individuals within the Federal Highway Administration. I would say that the memorandum that was drafted a couple of years ago in December of 21 that sought to redefine a century-old relationship between states and FHWA caused concern, not just for Texas, but for many of our AASHTO member states. We're pleased that that memo has been largely rescinded and replaced with a memorandum by the new administrator that reflects and reaffirms that commitment.
One of the things we discussed yesterday was the Railroad Crossing Elimination Program, and I'm very interested, obviously, in this program. It seems like something that would eliminate lengthy delays at railroad crossings. I think it's something to improve safety and something that the freight industry would support. And I ask that you work with my office on improving the program. And any other state DOT that thinks they have some good policy suggestions to either expand the program or make it more efficient. Obviously, in the news recently, rail derailments, I mean, individuals crossing these rail crossings unsafely. We can do better at that, and I want to work with you to make sure, and anybody else, any other state that's interested in improving that program, because I think it's very important. Thank you, sir, and I yield back.
Gentlemen,